Oh, yeah. Welcome out once again. This is no other than the Remix Morning Show. And I go by the name of the Air Doctor, and I'm glad y'all made it out here to Black Power Media to get that boom bap breakfast. And we got it for you. And, yo, I can't do this by myself, so let me introduce you to our host with the most. We got no other than Dr. Jared Ball.
Yo, and that's all.
That's all. All right. Another, what is it, April? Shit.
Yeah, let's go. Let's get it. What's up, man?
Everything's
What's up,
good.
remixers?
Everything's nice. Got the fresh polo on. I ain't used to seeing you with a polo on.
So we had a little wardrobe malfunction, and I just had to grab the first thing, the closest.
You look mad scholarly, man. You know,
Yes,
like a student.
Yes. Yeah,
student of the game.
Work shirt ready.
Fresh off of the green. Okay.
Yeah.
You ever golf?
No. In fact, I was raised specifically with a targeted disdain for golf as a class enemy. And my mother literally had a portion of a quote she put on our refrigerator that I can't remember never being there, and it was from H.L. Mencken, and I think this is the only thing I ever read from him was this quote, and when I eventually looked it up to get the full context, but the portion of the quote that was on the refrigerator said something to the effect that anyone who plays golf is not worthy of life. It was it's not exactly that, but it was it was because it was hostile about. And in our house, it was taken to mean that it was the playground of rich white men. But when years later, I went eventually and read the rest of the quote, and what I never knew, and I don't even know if my mother knew, is that the rest of the quote it's also misogynistic. So it's basically saying. I can't remember. I have to look up the quote, but maybe I'll do that while we're here. But it's something taking shots at women. So I was like, she probably.
Oh damn! But I do get the whole taking shots at the rich. Like this was the sport country clubs where we weren't even allowed to participate on unless we was carrying somebody's bags. So
yeah.
I get it.
I was just that was always. I never watched it. I never played it. I never none of that. But
I was out at we did a Let Us Make Man conference and got some seniors, some scholarships, and just gave out some money to different people in the audience that knew to answer the questions. We had them talking to people like one was a DEA type dude that was showing them actual pictures of people that got shot up, drug dealers, this, that, and the third, and letting them know how many years you get if you do certain things. So, I mean, it was like some real scared straight. I was like, damn, they just handing out years. Like, so that was good. And then I was packing up, leaving, and this Dr. Hampton, professor at CAU, came up and said, listen, I watch y'all every Tuesday through Thursday. Remix Morning Show. So big up to Dr. Hampton out there. The sister is beautiful, great. Just energy was just up there. So big up to that sister right there for tuning in, and thank you.
That's all she watches though. The morning show. That's it.
Well, I mean, listen. She said she like Black Power Media, but since I'm on the morning show, she's
right.
Yeah,
Got you. Just to clarify. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Hey, look. I found. Oh, my bad. Go ahead.
Nah, she don't watch Sundays, I don't think, but yeah, she does watch the morning show.
Well, tell her to tune into Sundays.
I mean,
But look, I found the Look at the quote. This is the quote. So I grew up with this part on my refrigerator. If I had my way, no man guilty of golf would be eligible to any office of trust or any profit under the United States. And that's where it stopped. Actually, it didn't even say the United States. The version I had ellipses after profit. So I grew up with this. If I had my way, no man guilty of golf would be eligible to any office, trust, or profit. But the rest of it says, under the United States, and all female athletes would be shipped to the white slave corals of the Argentine.
Wow.
So I was like, I didn't read that until I was well into my, I don't know, late 20s.
That's something. That's like the story about at Thanksgiving, they used to always have a half a turkey. And when this half a turkey would come out, they'd be like, okay, that's tradition. We always have a half a turkey. And then going back to the understanding of what really happened is that oven wasn't big enough, so they always had to cut half the turkey. But traditionally, they just thought it was always supposed to be a half a turkey. Knock upon this.
Knock upon this.
Yo, big up to Greg Levy.
Yo, Greg.
That's your man's in them?
So, absolutely.
Real quick, 199. Thanks, Greg. Miss Dr. Ball, you were awesome in Cleveland. Okay, you was outside.
I was outside this weekend in Cleveland. Shout out to Greg and the Party for Socialism and Liberation out there. And I was co-paneling and really like the warm up speaker for Eugene Puryear. So I got to hang out with the good folks in Cleveland, some good revolutionaries out there, and got to catch up with Eugene a little bit, which was dope, and to meet Greg and some of his family, his wife and his moms. Shout out to Ma Dukes. Big so yeah, it was great, and it's always nice to be. We were at the African American Museum in Cleveland, the first, I think it's the first privately owned black museum, I think.
I had to check it out. I heard the best one is the one in DC though. Is that?
I don't know. I haven't been, and I have my own. Wow. Well, I have my own little private boycott happening with I don't like these museums. So I've been to the Blacks and Wax Museum in Baltimore. I would happily go to the one we were just speaking at in Cleveland. But these national museums, I think, take on a different politics. We've done a couple videos about it. We can even come back to it if we want this morning. But it's got a. I think it takes on a different politics. So I have my own little. I don't try to make it. I'm not like going at people for it, but I am on my little private boycott. But yeah, I've heard in terms of as museums go, it's very nice.
Okay, big up to DC Joe Black, $5. You ever seen a golfer down for revolution and change? Nope. Tiger Woods' dad, he was down for change. He didn't like the fact how they was getting treated, so he came up and beat all their asses and brought his son along, and now Tiger Woods' son is coming along, be next.
You know, no disrespect to the late great, but I'm with my man DC Joe. Joe,
pick up DC Joe.
Yeah.
Infinite content, $5. Yo, have y'all been following the Calvin Riley trial in Tallahassee? The judge allowed the planned evidence play. Evidence play. Shaking my head.
I'm checking. Okay. Did Erica? But Erica got us on top of it though, so stay tuned.
Look at that.
Erica, boy, I tell you, boy, that run sheet, boy.
Ooh,
Erica be on it, boy. So we will get there.
Yeah. So yeah, we will. But I know that I kind of created a theme for the week. You know.
I see. What was going on?
Well, just even to this cover right here, the Remix Morning Show, we got two brothers. You know, it's a lot of battling going on, especially in the music and then. Just thinking about different authors, how they had different opinions, different perspectives. Almost like how Du Bois was fighting for the HOA or trying to make sure that there was water in the pools in the HOA, while Marcus Garvey was making sure there was running water in the projects. Was it like a level of both trying to free people but different classes in the race, or was it just so much difference of opinion that they didn't come together? Because I noticed with a lot of difference in opinion, it divides us as a people when we want to pick sides and stuff like that. So what's your whole thoughts on that?
In the short spaces like these, I always like to say a version of what Dr. Clark used to say, that we need them both. We need them all. We need elements of what all of them had to contribute. And so in that regard, I think that's true. The other thing I think, I mean, becoming slowly, I'm a sort of a slow to this, or slower than I should be, is the question of that I heard Paula Giddings raise years ago about Ida B. Wells, and that is the relationship of the luminary black celebrity activists to white philanthropy and political support. And so she made the point that Ida B. Wells was one of the few, unlike Du Bois, unlike Frederick Douglass, and few other more notable names, to get that their target audience was not strictly the black community. And I've always thought that I've increasingly becoming sensitive to that point. That said,
even with that said, but I can understand the ones that want to be allies and want to let their resources be used.
No, but my point is, in this sense, that I am increasingly suspicious of the way Du Bois is spoken more popularly than Garvey, for instance, in terms of the two you put there. And that even where I might tend to be at times more in agreement with Du Bois, particularly with his late in life socialism and Pan-Africanism, I'm again suspicious at how easily Garvey is removed as a central figure for concern in many popular discussions. So that, yeah. But in terms of the beef, when we were back and we were interviewing now the late Perry, I want to say Jonathan, but I might be mistaken now, the author who did the work on Hubert Henry Harrison. When you read his work, there's so much in it that shows Garvey and Du Bois and Cyril Briggs acting like young punk ass kids we see on YouTube. The vitriol and the hostility and the name calling, and this one looks like a gorilla, and this one looks like he's white, and this one, and Cyril Briggs literally bringing his light-skinned black mother to court to prove that he wasn't, that she wasn't, like that kind of stuff.
Really
like I'm like, yeah, like I'm like, for real, son. Like I would never drag my mother somewhere as a prop. Or like I can't. I was like, like really, but. So like all of that kind of so it's yeah. So beef has always been an issue, but I do think if we're trying to perform in a relatively objective analysis, trying to figure things out today, I think we should start where Clark was. That Jeffrey Perry, thank you,
because I would assume that with the Back to Africa movement with Garvey, that's not like trying to build up African Americans like Du Bois was trying to be like, all right, we can make.
But
it
was.
It was.
And because again, I mean, as I understand Garvey, what Garvey's point was, it's not in this sense that far off from where I understand Kwame Ture to have ended up. That is, for black people here and anywhere to be safe, there has to be a strong and solidified, unified African continent that propels that safety and projects it into and protects it into the rest of the world. So it wasn't some I'm not, because as some folks today are trying to rebrand him, that because he was originally from Jamaica that he wasn't concerned about black people here. Quite the opposite. What he was saying was, and quite accurately, for black people here to be good, black people in Jamaica have to be good. And that's why he said he went through all Central and South America on his way up here and said, everywhere I go, black people are doing bad. And the only way and then he understood that the divisions in terms of countries that exist are not real per se. They're all constructs of European imperialism. So he's saying, we have to have, again, a united Africa. We have to understand all of us as African people, and we have to unite on that basis. So, no, so it wasn't them versus us. It was all of us or none of us. Okay. One way out, like my man in Andor said, there's one way out, and it's Pan-Africanism. So everybody, anyone, anywhere who sows any division among African people should raise red flags. I'll say it that way. So it should be a cause of concern.
Both of them was about Pan-Africanism after it's all said and done.
Now, I'm interested in the debate that I'm not up on around Garvey was an African nationalist, not a Pan-Africanist, because he was not looking to build the unified Africa in the way Du Bois and his crew were. But in general, I think in terms of broad sort of introductory steps, yeah, they both understood that core concept that African people anywhere are safe nowhere unless there is an African, a united African continent and a united understanding among African people that erodes the divisions created by enslavement and colonization. So,
I'm going to pull up some more scholars and activists that had difference of opinions, and, I could do it in hip hop all day, but, even how I even talk about them being MCs, authors, and all them all having something to say for the world to hear, and them just having differences of opinions, but more like when he talking about music.
But wait, one quick. Can I? Because I wanted to segue to something to ask you, and I hope we're on the same page. So forgive the interruption.
Oh no.
But I do want to first encourage people to go through our platform. Like, yes, we always can do more, but we have a lot of these discussions on the platform.
Yes, we do.
So of this specific issue, but. And now this is where I was going to do the segue. One thing that I think I have never seen, and maybe at a mature level should have seen or wanted to see, but I admit not wanting to see, is where one would call out the other and then immediately apologize.
Ooh. You know what that was like? The funny thing is, that's like when you type out how you feel and you decide not to send it, you might delete later. You know what I mean? It's like,
I'm good at that now, yeah.
I want to get it out. I want to say it, but I really don't. I'm doing this because I was amped up by all the people around me, and, so I didn't want to do it, but I did it now. My bad, because I know how this is looking. We're going to get to that. Definitely go get to that. But big up to Truth in the Universe and then 999. Great job, Dr. Ball, on Economic Update with Professor Wolf. You been outside, man.
Well, that was a virtual interview, but outside the platform a little bit, yeah, for sure. Okay. I was, shout out to the Economic Update crew and Professor Wolf. It was a good time, good discussion.
Well, let's go ahead and talk about that. But before we talk about that, I want to go ahead and take our first break, just so everybody can get in here for this discussion, and we're gonna get it popping. So this is no other than the Remix Morning Show. Let's go here. Let's get it. A hip hop, you don't stop, rock it to the bang bang boogie, say up jump the boogie to the rhythm of the boogie to breathe. Big up everybody tuning in. Thank you all for tuning in right here, right now. This is the Remix Morning Show. I go by the name of the Ear Doctor. Please make sure you hit that like button. Make sure y'all hit that subscribe button. And also go to patreon.com, become a member over there, and see some footage that's rare. What you can do is you can also drop some change right here in the chat room, and we very much appreciate it. And other than that, let me get right to it. Let me get to slapping my map, which is time for, as we do every Tuesday, the weather report. All right. Bam. There we go. All right, so here we go. Let's talk about it. Hey, get your umbrellas out. Did y'all see the solar eclipse yesterday? You wasn't supposed to look at it, but I did. I don't listen. I can still see. Let me see. The high today is going to be rainy. Get your umbrellas. 66 degrees in Atlanta. Next, let's take it to D.C. How is it hotter in D.C. than it is in Atlanta? It's 78 degrees in D.C., also cloudy. Next, let's take it to Chicago. They got a high today of 59 degrees. Houston is going to be 79 degrees, so it's going to be nice and a little warm. Also kind of warm, it's going to be Oakland. They got a high of 73 degrees. But if you're looking at vacation and having a nice little time for all my boricuas in Puerto Rico, they got a high today of 80 degrees. And last but not least, a place that I never hear anybody say, I want to go vacation or go there. Cara, Togo. I never hear anybody say they want to go to Togo. Is it just me, or what's going on there? It is on the west coast right here, behind me. I can't show you, but anyway, that's what it is. It's pretty hot there. I'll tell you what else is kind of hot. What we was talking about earlier, how heated everybody was that a brother named J. Cole apologized for getting into a beef with Kendrick Lamar. Let's see this.
So I just want to come up here and be like, publicly be like, bruh, that was the lamest, like, goofiest shit. I say all that to say it made me feel like 10 years ago when I was moving incorrectly. And I pray that God align me back up on my purpose and on my path. You know what I mean? I pray that my really didn't feel no way. And if he did, I got my chin out. Take your best shot. I'm going to take that on the chin, boy. Do what you do. You know what I mean? Like, all good.
All right. So as you can see, there was a little beef going on in the song that Future and Metro Boomin had with Kendrick Lamar coming at Drake and J. Cole. And then J. Cole came back with his 7-minute drill off his new album, Might Delete Later. And like he said, it was messing with his spirit. He was doing it because everybody was hyping him up to battle. Now, that's the one thing about hip-hop. It's always been a battle thing because there was only one stage. So with only being one stage, you had to fight to get on that stage. You had to be better than the other person. Now it's so many stages. Do we need this still in hip hop? The whole battling thing? Do we need to make it a competition to be the best? It could, but it's so many stages. Do we need to fight for that one spot like we do as an actor, just to get the shine? I don't know. Let's think about it. Let's talk about it right here on the Remix Morning Show. Let's do it. All right? Right here. Remix Morning. Damn, did I push the right button? There we go. Ha-ha! Yo, come out, K. Franklin. What's the deal?
I'm chilling. So when you do push the buttons, are you really? Can you get off your phone? You're on air. Can you get off your phone? Like you?
Yeah, well,
I
gotta produce.
Can you get off the phone though? Because you're on air.
I'm getting texts from the host that's not here.
You're on air.
Yes.
So all I'm saying is that when you push all those buttons and you do all that, how much of that is really necessary to get to the next thing? You do like 5 in a row, and then you go like, "Oh, I pushed the wrong button," but you're doing all this. Like there's like 9 buttons you pushing. How much of that is really necessary, or is that like you play acting?
No, I have to push a button to bring over the next screen. I have to push the button to bring in the music, and I have to push in the button to say Remix Morning Show. So it's a number of buttons, and sometimes the mathematics, in my head come out like this. But still, I get it together eventually.
Someone said in the chat I was the perfect person to come talk about the J. Cole beef. And that's true. Of course. I'm all in that. I'm all in that world.
Yeah,
that's my world. It's my world. Because it's similar to the activist world. There's no difference between that and the organizing world. Where people treat like there's one, like, as if like, the whole thing about if I want black people to be free, but I need to be the one freeing them, or I want black, that kind of thing. I mean, that's the same thing all around. So it's no different. People
there's no freedom unless I deliver it.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, what? People treat it like it's all a stage.
But I did, when I came out of the Navy, I did feel like now they're ready. Now it's about to happen. I'm about to make it happen. Not that it couldn't happen without me, but that now it was going to happen because of me.
Which is a slightly different attitude. I mean, what's something that propels you is important in terms of slightly different, because one that propels you, like, I want to be involved and do this stuff, and I'm serious, and I'm gonna dig deep. That's different from it's I'm about to knock everybody else out the way so that I can center myself and whatever. So it's not, I mean, that's what capitalism is, right? Everything's a competition. Everything's about you being out front. Everything's about you're better than the next one or whatever. It probably doesn't even matter what area of work we're talking about. That's what it breeds that, right?
It's like Walter Rodney saying, yo, man, I know me and Dr. Clark don't agree on everything, but he's a great author. This is what J. Cole was like, yo, Kendrick is a great author. He got great music. Why am I acting like he don't? Just a battle? Come on, let me be real about it.
So, look, I will not front. I did not have the mature reaction to that. Oh, I didn't have the mature reaction. I had my original childish hip hop reaction. Like, this is ridiculous. What in the hell are you doing? You beef till the end, and then when you want it to end, you do it the way Jay and Nas do it. You don't come out with an overt apology. You just go on tour together. You just start working together. You turn it into a bag. You don't or I would rather that they beef the way Michael Jackson and Prince beefed. You don't have to overtly, in other words, don't call them out overtly so that you have to come back and apologize overtly. You just know the beef is always simmering. You just make sure your performance is always better than theirs. You just always make sure your next verse is always better than theirs. Or do it like when he drops, make sure you're ready to drop something. Do it that way, but don't call someone out and then go on stage and apologize for it. So that was the mature reaction is he did the right thing, and that's cool. And, he reflected on it. He thought about it. He said, you know what? I was in my feelings. I'm sorry. You get the last word if you want it. I'll take it on the chin.
Like, nobody's even talking about his album. It's just talking about the beef. It takes away from the whole album. I mean,
is the song on the album?
Yeah, but he's deleting it from the streams, all streams now.
Oh, that's true. That's easy to do. Okay.
So then it just still becomes hype and promo for the
yeah. Just by pointing it out.
Maybe now we'll listen to the album and talk about the album instead.
Well, now though, everybody's gonna go buy the album to get the version of it that has the diss track before he erases the diss track.
That'll become classic.
So I'm sure he won't erase the diss track for at least 7, 8, 10 days, get them sales going, and then preview again that he's about to delete it. Wait another 7 or 10 days, and then do something where he's there about to push the button or something like that. That's what I would do.
That works. And then I just lost my thought. What was I going to say that he should do? Freeze. I did. It was ready to go. But anyway, that's fine. Yeah, whatever.
I'm proud of that brother. He came out and said his spirit wasn't feeling it, and he's like, all right, well.
So out of the three of us, have you heard the diss track though?
Yeah.
I have actually.
Oh, you have? Oh.
Yeah, I heard because I was in the car. I had to take my daughter to a tournament a couple days ago, and I got all caught up in the car.
So as diss tracks for both of you, as diss tracks go, is it a top level?
No, not from but I can't. But my ears, I'm not hearing it right. I mean, I have to admit, I'm not hearing it the way it's supposed to. I'm hearing it as an old man hating. So I have to be honest with that. I'm not feeling the beats. I'm not feeling I just was like,
They like two friends that want to stay friends, so they not, hitting each other like, It's just like
nobody talking about nobody mama, nobody had sex with the other one's significant other.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Like, y'all not.
See how we want blood? See how we want blood?
Kill nobody in the family?
There's nobody shooting outside the Hot 97. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man.
Look at what we've come to as a people.
They don't know how to beef today. Ain't no dead bodies, son.
Look at this, man. Oh, my goodness. That's why he's like, you know what? Everybody else around me is like, do it. Go, 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 go. He's like, I'm not doing this shit, man. That's my people, so.
You know what? I think you're right. I think he is right. I admit my reaction is very immature on this one. I'm not even necessarily proud of it, but it was my reaction when I saw the video. I was like, oh man. Oh, that was what I was gonna say. One of my favorite takes that I've heard is some feeling sorry for J. Cole fans. Because it's been like a week that the track was out. So you put the track out, you got all your crew behind you like, yeah, Kendrick, yeah. And then you come out and apologize and even everybody like, what?
After you've been in a barbershop talking, why my man's gonna take him out.
Exactly. They've been in each other's faces in school and whatnot. Talking about Kendrick, I told you Kendrick's scared. Kendrick, he ain't ready for Cole. And then Cole comes out and apologizes. Can you imagine all those poor kids
going back to the barbershop?
Go back to the barbershop like oh my God.
Pop shit apologizing. That was a line of what's the name used?
That's what Nas said.
Yeah.
Pop should apologize, ask Kiss.
Yeah.
Because that's what you did with Jada Kiss. Talk shit and apologize. And he got called out for it. That's my generation. I'll just play.
Oh my goodness. Well, yeah, that is what's going on in the entertainment world. And now we'll catch y'all on the next break. Peace.
There's actually more in the entertainment world that I wanted to ask before Ear Doctor left because, and maybe we could save it and do it as news. But did you all watch? Now we may not win the race war, but did you see that we won the battle this weekend?
Is this the basketball game?
Shout out to the Gamecocks.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
And I wonder if we can. I gotta play something real quick because it was exactly. I saw it and I said, this is exactly how I feel. So let me just play my man here real quick.
Pardon me. I cheered for Iowa all the way until last night. I wanted to see Caitlin Clark do everything. It was amazing. I was rooting for it because I like watching greatness. So I rooted for Caitlin Clark until last night because I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to be straight up honest. I said, enough's enough. This white girl can't run through the bracket like this. It's just getting ridiculous at this point.
That was my point bringing it up last week. I was like, look at these white girls running shit. What are we doing, y'all? And then here came the Gamecocks. Dawn Staley. Oh, yes. That was a beautiful sight. It was beautiful.
I didn't watch the whole game. I watched the highlights. And you see Iowa, and it was like, and they said it on the Cam and May show. It was like the highlights from Harlem Nights in the boxing fight. Every time the white girls scored, the whole white crowd,
Yep.
And every time South Carolina scored, all the black side was like, and it was like the clearest division. And then the white folks, all the news, all the clips, all the headlines was like, they're doing too much. So that's why I was like, I didn't even start paying attention till like last week when I saw, and then when she beat old girl from LSU, and the white folks were just too happy. So I was like, we gotta, like you said, enough is enough.
Enough is enough. We gotta stop this train.
She's the new Larry Bird for them. She's the new Larry Bird.
Exactly.
Everything, yeah. I've never seen so many headlines in the newspaper about women's basketball before this girl came along.
And now they say she's going to save the WNBA, that she's going to bring millions to the WNBA. And some of their players, which is funny to me, are already hating on her. Like you've been playing against 18-year-olds. Like, don't get it. They've been saying that. Teresi, what's her name? Teresi. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm just following these clips and headlines. But it's just so funny.
Big up to Raven from ATL, this high school my daughter about to go to, Westlake High School, straight out of there. She locked Caitlin down on the end of the game and couldn't allow her to score. But Caitlin came out and scored 18 in the first quarter quick. I was like, damn.
But didn't they jump out to like a 12 or 14
It was
point
13-0, yeah. And it was looking bad. And then
the clamps down, like, nah.
And I'm sure Dawn said that in the huddle. Like, all right now.
Y'all gonna let these white girls beat us?
Somebody said that.
You know somebody did.
Not the white girl.
For all these white people watching.
Y'all white people gonna be happy tonight? Is this what's gonna happen?
Iowa?
Because remember, even Larry Bird said that.
This is for the people.
Remember when Larry Bird turned to the opposition's bench and said, "You gonna put the white boy on me?" Even Larry Bird was like, "Don't you put the white boy on me? I'm about to kill him."
You want me to score 60 points.
But she did. Look, Kayla Clark. Look, I saw again just the highlights of the game, and she has a crazy range. But you still need a team. Yeah. You still need a team. And to your point, she got off quick, but then
lockdown.
And
that's
beautiful.
Defense wins games, and like you said, rebounds too. All the rebounds they was getting with them.
They killed them on the boards. They killed them on the boards.
Yeah, we're gonna have. I'm gonna have to bring in the sports segment so we can keep.
We need to get Hiram's take on it. Hiram
going to come just talk about Wu-Tang. He ain't got no sports talk.
Nah, man, he's Damn. Togo catching strays, Hiram catching strays. Ear Doctor's on one this morning, boy. Watch out.
The problem with Hiram in sports is
you just don't read, beloved.
Damn. Oh, wow. Hiram. I'm about to text him. You've been called out.
You snitching on me. Let me find out.
Hiram.
Come on, Hiram. Let's go.
That's how you beef. Don't you dare apologize here, Doctor.
Oh, I'm not. Come on, man.
Come back to about. I just was there. I'm sorry. I didn't really mean
it.
I was playing. My people suit me up a little bit. I didn't really mean it like that. If you need to have the last word, Hiram, go ahead, man.
Because my spirit was in the wrong place at the time. Anyway, I'm out of here, man. Catch you.
All right. Well then let's slap the map. Let's make it official and get to some of these stories. It's the Remix Morning Show. Welcome back, everybody. Kamal Franklin, Jared Ball, Ear Doctor, Sister Erica on the run sheet. And we got, I don't know if you were here yet, Kamal, or you saw it, but we got a super chat request for this story. And Erica had it, sure enough, had it in the run sheet. So if it's cool, I'll just start here with this one. And from our Tallahassee, video shows Tallahassee police officer planting evidence during DUI arrest. Calvin Riley Sr.'s routine traffic stop becomes a legal nightmare. Video shows TPD officer pouring out a sealed bottle of liquor and tossing it in Riley's passenger seat before arresting him for a DUI. Wow, I think we should...
we have the video?
Yeah. Calvin Riley. He's being stopped by the Tallahassee Police Department on South Monroe.
Hello, sir. I'm Officer Oliver, Tallahassee Police Department.
She'll plant evidence of an empty liquor bottle in Riley's car before arresting him for an alleged DUI. Riley's license is suspended, and officers decide to arrest Riley on a first offense for his suspended license.
Would you be willing to do some voluntary field sobriety exercises?
Not really.
Okay. Here, go ahead and step out of the vehicle for us.
They didn't tell him the consequences of refusing that voluntary test.
Just go ahead and face the corner of the car for us. Your license is
After detaining Riley, they ask him if he smoked any marijuana.
Mr. Riley, I got a quick question for you.
No problem.
So I smelled marijuana in your vehicle. Did you recently smoke?
No.
Once he's arrested for driving with a suspended license, they can search his car. Officer Oliver leaves the car, does a 360, and then goes back in the car, retrieving a sealed liquor bottle and pours it out. That was the sound of the seal on the liquor bottle breaking. Here's another angle. While Officer Muth questions Riley about marijuana again,
Did somebody else smoke in your car earlier?
Oliver tosses the empty bottle into the passenger seat. They don't find any marijuana in the car. Here's Officer Oliver implying to Officer Muth that the empty bottle was likely what was in a cup in Riley's center console.
Cover where like the knee would sit, there's an opening, and he had it like tucked. Okay. And then the whatever he had in his cup also smelled.
Then Officer Muth tells a senior officer that they found open alcohol in the car, in both a bottle and a cup.
Did y'all search the car?
Yeah.
Okay, nothing in there?
No. Well, okay, so he had a bunch of alcohol stashed in there, but...
Nothing open or anything?
Yeah, open.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, in his, like, Tervis in the center console, he had a mixed drink, and then under his knee, he had a, like, little bottle of vodka tucked away.
When officers group to discuss the case, they all ask each other if their body cameras are off.
Still on. Any evidence of that?
Marijuana?
Yeah.
Are you still on?
Mm-hmm.
The video ends at this point. Riley's arrest report states, quote, "A search of Riley's vehicle yielded a small bottle of vodka that was opened in a pocket in the driver's seat cover." Riley's case begins on Friday, April 5th, in the Leon County Courthouse in Tallahassee.
That's just... I want to say it's crazy, but it's not crazy. It's just that it's caught on video. That's the whole thing. But the first thing, like when you're a defense attorney, first thing you do is you look at that police report to point out the inconsistencies. And usually after you look at it, after you talk to other witnesses, like most cases, you don't have video. But after you get other versions of events, you can quickly piece together that the cops are overtly lying or switching things around, and particularly in terms of how things took place or the order things took place to justify their actions. They're always justifying their actions. Again, it's not about truth. It's not about what really took place. It's about, okay, we've already made the stop. I want to get an arrest out of it. I want it to be worth my while. I want it to be something I can build up on my own, like my own reports or whatever. And then next thing you know, it's all this other stuff that comes in. I remember we did a case in New York. This is like at an activist party, and actually Critical Resistance at the time in Brooklyn, and the police busted up the whole party. And they said that they basically blamed one person. They said they quickly arrested that person, and everybody else came out to fight or argue and all that kind of stuff. And they made 7 or 8 more arrests. And then once we got like some pictures, lucky somebody, this is maybe, well, it was pre-smartphone. People had pictures, and all throughout we kept seeing the dude who they said they arrested first standing there. Cops are walking by him, doing other things. So it's like that. It's just like, so it's always this crap around their version of events, and then it turns out over and over again, like how, again, they're just trained to lie.
Yeah, I mean, as you said, it should be seen as wild, but given the history and some of the more egregious, obviously, cases. But it's the late John Judge used to say to me all the time, you cannot have organized crime without organized police. And they are the ones either doing it, allowing it, protecting it, supporting it. And whenever they are mobilized to get rid of crime, it gets gotten. So that's, but.
And how dumb can she be that she didn't remember her body cam was on?
So what that always tells me, that's the other thing I was going to say. The other thing that tells me is that this is routine, that there's a level of comfort, not only with her own behavior, but what she thinks she can get away with given the behavior of her colleagues. Mm-hmm. So it's like, and that's why they're asking each other, are you on? Mm-hmm. Are you, but you're right. I mean, God damn.
No, yeah, it's that confidence level of like, I've gotten away with this like 13 times. I've done this like, whatever. I always get away with this.
And who taught her that that's how it's done?
Exactly.
I mean, you think she figured that shit out on her own?
Exactly.
No, it's like, yeah. That's how, I see. Yeah.
Right.
I'll find some. Yeah. And it was quickly, there's a bottle in there. Gloop, 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 boop, 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 doop, doop, doop. And I'm surprised they don't have like a whole like cooler in the back of like spare liquor and spare drop guns, and they got all the stuff they need, like bags of Coke. They can
pop that trunk or pop that cop trunk. And for every occasion,
right?
We want I need something.
Got that little spray that makes it smell like weed or something. Yeah. But I thought you're not allowed to do that anymore. I thought that's not supposed to be used.
I think it just depends on what state you're in.
It's still state
Probably
driven?
state by state. But that was their first thing, was to claim marijuana. And then when they found the other thing, it was like, okay, we'll just go with this instead. We'll just crack open his liquor and go with this instead. So
Training Day. Who made that line? Training Day was a documentary. Whose line was that? But yeah, it's a documentary.
I don't know, but that's true. And you're right. Like, you're right. That's not something you learn on your own.
No.
That's the team right there, training you up. Training how you do that.
The only scheme I think I can ever claim I came up with on my own at a job was my favorite, which was my drive-through Wendy's con. I'm not proud of it today per se, but
say more.
Where I used to run the register when I could get the register, and maybe I wasn't the only one doing it, because I remember, now that I'm thinking about it, it was always like a competition for who got to do it. But when I got to run the register at the drive-through, I would, on orders over $5, I would add $1. And then on orders over like 15 or 20, I might add $5. And then I would pocket that. So the register was never out of balance. And then I would always go home with like, $30 to $50 cash every day.
So is this pre them like displaying the amount you owe?
Oh yeah, this is no. They would sometimes somebody would come through and say, what was the total on that? And then I would just do, oh, my bad, I read it wrong, I'm sorry. and I would just let that one go, and I would wait for the next one. But usually, if you just add $1, nobody was checking.
No mind.
Nobody was checking.
One of the reasons I don't have a pizza place to this day. Niggas like you.
Wait, that's what you did at the pizza place?
He's saying, well, he blames me for.
No, I'm talking about my employees.
Oh.
Yeah, they used to pocket.
Well, but again, the only person, the business wasn't hurt. Only the customers, a little bit at a time, were hurt. And so again, I'm not proud of it per se in terms of my behavior. I'm a little bit proud of the scheme. For me, that was pretty good, because I was never a good criminal. So every other scheme I was involved with ended with an arrest usually. But in general, they were schemes I was learning from other people. It was something someone else was already running, or something someone else was already doing, and they were introducing me to, like, this is how you get an extra this, or this is how you hustle this, or this is how you do that. Ah, okay, now I see. Or you see someone really doing some bigger, I don't know, and then you're like, well, I can do a lesser version of that. Okay, all right. But so that's what I'm saying. And it was just a level of comfort in the video. Let me just unscrew this and dump this. And it was easy for her. Oh, yeah. It was in the console and the open cup and the this and the that. The only thing we didn't see on tape is them saying, oh, yeah, that's how we used to do it. Oh, you're doing that right. Or, or say this next.
Yeah. So practice session.
So she's running a con on this crew that she learned from another crew, and this crew's probably running a con on themselves and each other. I mean, they probably got all kinds of stuff going on.
Yeah, that was too good.
That was really good. That was. So I hope. So I'm assuming, I didn't follow up the whole story, but I'm assuming he's the miseducation of Jared Ball. Yeah. It was. Look, I have been a work in progress for a while.
But you know what they'll do? They won't drop. They won't drop everything. They're like, I thought I heard.
That's what I was going to ask. Yeah.
So half the time, just counts on how embarrassed they are or who's doing it. But half the time, they'll just they'll still give them a ticket for the suspended license, just to be dicks, to be really true about it. And then the other stuff he's definitely got a lawsuit. I mean, when those, like, he got a payday coming through. He definitely got to pay a payday coming through for that kind of thing. Because that again, the fact that they caught it on camera, that just lines up people's pockets or whatever like that.
Not the least of which, you poured out my liquor. You know what I'm saying?
That can be part of the suit.
At the end of the line of offenses, you poured out my fresh bottle of liquor. That is just cold-blooded. So yeah, add that. I want a nice new.
He might have been going to watch the game, being like, I'm going to watch the Gamecocks beat these Iowa girl asses.
That's probably what it was.
But he had a Gamecock sticker on there.
He probably did. He was probably listening to the game, talking about, yeah, get it. And they were like, oh, get that. He's too happy. He's too mumbling happy. Caitlin's not doing it for us tonight. We got to pay back. Yeah, that's probably the flip side.
Yeah.
And we should probably look into that. Like, I hope black people nationwide, I hope were relatively safe the other night, because I'm sure there was some angry cops out there and angry just whites in general, just looking for some get back. So, all right. What else you want? Anything that you want to get to?
I don't have anything lined up. So if you got a next story.
No, I'll just go down the run sheet. Yesterday was, I hope this was the one day nobody should have looked up. And I love my children. You already did?
Yeah, I looked up.
Why? Because you don't believe it's real?
Hey, I just don't follow rules. I'm a rule breaker.
Habitual rule breaker.
Well, I love my children to death, but I did feel it necessary to repeatedly text them and remind them not to do it, because I just always feel like there's a little bit of residual I don't know, like some my negative impact on them, and that they would have that genetic desire to disobey and look anyway. All right, let me wait for the commercial to end. But yeah, so I don't know if anybody put any particular import into seeing the eclipse yesterday, or
individually. No, I was all negative about it. I felt like I've seen several eclipses before. I don't care no more. So I do admit my daughter's school had the day off, and I was like, I don't understand. You can't even see that shit here in Atlanta. Like, why is the whole school closed and all that kind of stuff? So I was.
They closed the school for this?
Yeah, the school was, my son's school was open, but my daughter's school was closed. And they said it was like an eclipse or whatever. It's like, didn't we just have spring break? You got to add one more day post the spring break for something that we're not even going to go see, not even going to really see in Atlanta. So I was a little,
I used to hate that when our daughters went to different schools and one would be on and one would be off. I'm like, man, either everybody's going or nobody's going.
You're messing up my schedule.
Yeah, like, why I got to make one run while the other one is, I'm like, I used to hate that. All right, here we go. This is a 6-minute version of the process. There we go. There it is. That's what it looked like. Yeah, I was hating on it. I was hating. I was even joking with my kids about it. Like, I said, scientists predicted this like 150 years ago. What's the big deal? Ben knew it was coming. Yeah. I was like, Ben. Yeah.
And I also feel like it is part of the propaganda game of, let's distract you with this. Meantime, we're selling. And again, obviously we knew this was going to happen or whatever, but the way the stuff gets built up to be like, this should be a center point of your life. Obviously, I know it's the science involved, it's how the world or how the universe operates. That's all good things for folks to know. But I do feel like in the sort of the marketing scheme of things, it's just one more thing to be like, hey, look over here at this. And let's not look at how the real world operates or anything of that nature. And so that's the kind of stuff that sticks in my craw. It's like all these happy news stories and cameras. I was like, have you covered Palestine? Have you covered the Congo? Have you covered what's happening in Haiti? Like, so instead we'll, and again, hours upon hours dedicated to a 5-second event or I guess 6-minute event. So I was not, I just wasn't into it this time. When I was younger, I think, the first couple of times, obviously I went to kids, but when I was a little younger, maybe, but at this day, it was more like, very curmudgeonly.
That is a very good point. And yeah, we should, in fact, revisit that on the next, on the flip side of the ear doctor's return. And it looks like he's back on stage.
That's the stuff that sticks in your craw?
That's a wild phrase, right? I thought about it. I thought
I wanted
about
to come on and say pause.
I did.
I
thought about it. But I was like, I did so much immaturity around the Cole Kendrick thing. I thought about it. I did. I had a whole thing in my head. Like, that's why I couldn't do a good segue because I was stuck. I
got you, Jared.
Well, I thought that earlier when somebody said Gamecocks before I made that pause, but I left it alone.
I thought about it then. There's been like 10 of them this morning that I just was like, let me just, we could have done the no Diddy, like
no Diddy.
Well, your name is a pause, Skeet DePete.
Skeet DePete. It is.
Elon said, "Grow up." I don't know, Elon. I don't know. It might be too late.
We for real. Yo, big up Teresa 273 sending in $20 showing appreciation because can't get my ass up early. West Coast. All right.
That's how we do it on the remix. We uncensor the text. You can't. You try to censor yourself. We right.
Oh my goodness, boy!
Oh, thank you, Teresa.
We got some literary champs around here in the chat room.
The chat is always right. The chat is always
reading it wrong.
No. The chat is always superior. Always right. Always superior.
All right,
but
let's go ahead and get to another break. We got 528 people watching. Blah 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 blah. Big up to everybody. All right, let's go ahead and let me find what buttons I'm supposed to push before I do this because it's a whole bunch. You know what I was thinking about doing before we do go to break? Starting before Sunday, 7:30 or 7. Sunday's chat. That's right.
Oh, wow.
A fireside chat with the ear doctor.
Oh, wow.
Where people can, like I was saying, call in, chat room could come in, and we had discussions about different things. So
the way you said it in that low voice, I feel like you would have like a smoker's jacket on and like a goblet of wine, and
so I might be a
little fireplace behind you.
I could see it. I could see that. That'll be pretty fly. All right, well, let's go ahead and get to it. Y'all can tune in and find out if I do it or not. But right here on the Remix Morning Show, let's go. All right, what's good, everybody? Welcome out to the Remix Morning Show. I go by the name of the Ear Doctor, and y'all are tuned into that Boom Bap Breakfast, and we got it right here. So get your plate, get your utensils, and let's eat. All right, hit that like, subscribe if you're new to the channel. Go to patreon.com, become a member over there, and get footage that's rare. Drop something right here in the chat room, and we'll show our appreciation, throw it up on the screen, give you a big shout out. All right, other than that, we wanted to give a spotlight to a sister that we talked about early that's doing her thing. Who am I going to talk about? No other than Dawn Staley. That's right. Coming straight out of Philly. That's right, Philly, PA. She's a Hall of Fame basketball player, coach who's currently the head coach for the reigning champion South Carolina Gamecocks, the women's basketball team. Also, she won 3 Olympic gold medals with Team USA and was later the head coach of another U.S. gold medal winning team. She was elected to carry the flag and everything for the Summer Olympics, but she was playing point guard for the University of Virginia, and she won a gold medal at the 1969 Summer Olympics. She played professional basketball in the WNBA. Fans named her one of the top 15 players of all time. She was inducted into the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame in 2012. And elected to the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame in 2013. Listen, she's done everything. Won from player to coach. We even talking about when she started coaching Temple University, the women's basketball team in 2000. In 8 years at Temple, she led the program to 6 NCAA tournaments, 3 regular season conference champions, and 4 conference tournament titles. Every level, and then leaving there, going to Carolina to start doing her thing. Man, we talking about records that's not going to be beaten for a while. The sister has done it on every level, and she's continuing to do it. Undefeated season. They just won just what was it, Sunday? So I guess I don't even know how much higher she could go, but I would say one of the best coaches ever. If we talking about coaching and going and changing the program around and always being undefeated and winning championships, Dawn Staley. And she was killing them with that Louis V jacket. She be killing them with the gear, yo. Big up to that sister, keeping that hip hop going. All right, let's get back to the Remix Morning Crew. Now we do. Yeah.
You made me think about something like speaking, like, not that we were speaking about it, but thinking about patriarchy and sexism. Mm-hmm. That sister has such a perfect record, and like, would she ever get a chance to coach an NBA team? Right. Like, so you got plenty in the WNBA, college basketball, you got dudes coaching women teams all the time, but I don't think I can recall ever a woman coach, but obviously in the top levels of college and or professional basketball, professional sports. But this woman has all the credentials and we're breaking down barriers. Then maybe she should be coaching an NBA team.
Have women coached men at any level? Because I know men coach women in college, but
I don't. This white lady coach that came up under Popovich, and she'll probably be one of the first
in the NBA.
Yeah, in the NBA.
Of course, it should be.
They've had some assistant ones, right? I know that I've seen a couple of assistant coaches, but not like an actual like head coach.
Coach. Yeah, she should be. I mean, all owners say they need a coach that's able to relate to the players. So she's perfect.
Yeah, basketball is perfect. I mean, she's played basketball. She's like, the schemes, whether you're a woman's coach or a male's coach, the women's game, male's game, schemes are very, very similar. They're going to be based on people's
X's and O's,
like talents and everything else. So, yeah, there's a reason for that.
Who's Becky Hammonds?
I think she's the coach you're talking about.
Oh, okay. Probably Becky. Okay, yeah. So, that is what it is. That sister is a bad.
Oh no, she's wait.
Lisa Leslie in the Big Three. Becky Hammond was assistant at San Antonio. That's right.
Okay,
and
that's
the
right.
Head coach of Las Vegas Aces.
Is that a women's basketball team or a men's basketball?
Yeah.
So, no, but there's men basketball coaches in the WNBA, right? Lanier was a builder.
I'm sure.
Right. A couple. I mean, there's a lot of them. But yeah.
And I know that there have been men coaching in women's college basketball. So she
got the credentials. So we'll see.
I would think so.
And then is that what she really want to do? Is it about reaching that level, getting a certain amount of money, or is it about being comfortable with your peer, your sisters?
I threw it out there. But everybody's ambitious.
Even with look at the Alabama old coach. I mean, he didn't want to go to the next level. He enjoyed coaching them kids. So.
Yeah, but he had the opportunity to, right? I mean, people threw he had the right to go like, nah, I don't want that.
Yeah.
She doesn't get that right? No one goes to her and goes like, hey, we want you to teach, we want you to coach the Knicks. Like that's not something that she even gets the right. This for her is kind of the highest level because it's not even thought about as something that could happen, right? Yeah. So in that respect, in terms of the glass ceiling, that's like a perfect example. It's like no one even thinks for a hot second that they would someone who's been undefeated for won 2 out of the last 3 titles. Maybe their next step in their career would be if they wanted to coach in the NBA.
You know what? Goddess Crew is reminding me of a couple of things. One, the one of the few people that did recognize me from BPM in Cleveland made sure to let me know that she's the biggest fan of Diallo. So I was a little bit disappointed. Diallo has a lot of fans.
Yeah, he got fans. Wow. He made Diallo famous.
And so I was a little bit disappointed. But given that Goddess Crew is, as I know, his second biggest fan, she does also remind me of something here. Doc Rivers should not be coaching. So yeah, if Doc Rivers has a job, then Dawn Staley should definitely be given a shot. There's
a love for Doc.
Is Doc supposed to be like a terrible coach or something else?
He has been getting dragged a lot lately, and for a lot of different things, but primarily for never winning. He got one ring with the Celtics, and then
that's enough.
Not apparently when you're. Because I'm only learning this from Cam and Mace and a couple other headlines here and there.
Those
I have
are your resources.
I admit it.
On everything
I think they do, but I think they know not everything, maybe everything, but I think basketball. They do seem to know basketball. And their argument was that Doc keeps getting people fired and replacing them, and then still not winning. And
that's true.
So it's like, if you're going to be doing all of that, you need to be better.
Yeah, he got everything he needed in Milwaukee to win, and they're just not pulling it through. So we'll see.
This is the line that I get. He's ruined like 4 teams, like Dante says. That's the vibe I keep getting. But it is all secondhand because I do not watch anymore.
Yeah.
So I
don't watch anymore either. But how many mediocre? I go back to that line about the mediocre white coaches who get chance after chance after chance after chance. So we got one mediocre black coach who's getting a whole bunch of chances.
There you go.
He
did. Yeah, let him. Yeah, right.
He deserves to fail.
Fair enough.
Let him live.
Let him live.
He's got to feed his family. Let him. He needs to make millions of dollars in failure. Let him live.
But I don't think you've done your traditional wife search. You're over here rocking for my man's family.
I don't know. Wait a minute.
You already know.
Oh, wait a minute.
You already know.
Oh, no. Not Doc. Not Doc.
Not Dominique Wilkins' teammate.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
wait a minute.
Yeah. It's a lot of them. It's a lot of them. I guess,
Oh, yeah.
They be hanging around in practices. Okay, there you go. Rocking the Jerry Ball polo.
Oh man, what?
Blind as blind can be.
Ooh, man.
But what was that conversation? Somebody sent me one of those shorts, YouTube shorts or something, where I don't even know who the people are, but a black woman talking to a black man asking, why do all these NBA players end up with white women? And his answer was that old stereotypical thing I've been hearing my entire life, that these women are willing to do things for him and care for him in ways black women are not. And that's why it's just so prevalent. And I said, wow. And my first thought was, the stereotype of the black male athlete is still happening, and then the exact same reasons are given. I haven't checked in on that argument in a long time, and it's the exact same.
I'm sure if Doc was to describe it, he'd be like, "Yo, that's my Coretta. That's my Coretta." That's my.
Jared, I got the answer for that.
Uh-oh.
Come to Sunday's chat.
He's got a whole logo, so apparently this is going to happen. Apparently, because he's got a whole logo.
Got a whole logo.
A logo.
I'll catch y'all later.
No, of course it's lies. I see all the calls for lies in the chat. Yeah, of course. I'm just saying the same story.
Oh, somebody put it perfectly. They want. Where is that at?
Sister Barrows. Wait, we got to read that out.
Wait a minute. They want white women. Oh, you do yours first.
My bad, because she put the money on it.
True.
People's media for the truth, for the people, for my sanity. Gracias. De nada, hermana.
Damn. She wanted somebody on the show, and I failed at getting that person on.
Who?
Sandra, I can't remember. It's too far back. Sandra, you should never call me about. You should call me just to chat it up. But if there's like people you want on the show, you probably should just send me an email so I can forward it to somebody else.
Is this the one you were talking about?
Yeah, it's like they want white women because that's what rich white men have. And I think there's truth in that, because those are the things that are put in front of all of us to be like, this is what success means. And so obviously not just for black men in particular, I think just the way the country runs. So
is that, Anthony, was that the link you sent me? My bad. Anthony, my bad. And while I'm saying it, Anthony, I appreciate you. You send a lot of stuff. I can't claim to get to all of it, but I appreciate it. And you may have been the one to send me that link. But if we can, there was, just to keep some continuity in terms of one of the first half of the show's stories, This is in the run sheet as well. DC police dealt thousands of guns. ATF demands answers after concerning number found at crime scenes. This is, is this, oh man, are they talking about it here? Yeah, let me see if we can play this here real quick.
Well, you know, when a DC resident wants a legal handgun, they usually go to a gun store in Virginia, Maryland, find it online. They pay for it and then ship it to a licensed dealer in DC. That DC dealer is the only place that a federal background check is done, and that looks for past convictions or other disqualifications. And for a time, DC police was the only one in town doing them, something that's now raising newly uncovered concern.
So DC police...
There are only two people in the entire district who can help you get a legal handgun in DC, and Sean Poland is one of them.
I wonder if that needs to be modified.
Poland opened DC Security Associates in 2021, one of two federal firearms licensees in DC.
We believe in responsible ownership.
At a time when DC had only one other gun dealer, the Metropolitan Police Department. According to everyone we talked to and federal records we've combed through, DC was then, and is still now, the only police department anywhere in America to sell guns to the public. The only one. And we've got the records to show how it happened. Fearing Second Amendment scrutiny, DC Council passed a law in 2012 allowing the city to deal guns if no private business would do it. And that was the case in the spring of 2020 when Mayor Bowser ordered DC police to do it. In April 2020, DC police started operating as both the dealer and enforcer of gun laws in the district. Police departments are not supposed to be firearms dealers, are they?
No, heck no. That was my biggest point there. If your firearms branch screws up, you're going to inspect and enforce your own firearms branch?
Months later, Poland remembers, DC police couldn't wait to get out of the gun business.
They asked us to open early, by 4 weeks.
Why?
They were getting sick and tired of managing all those firearms they had down there. They had thousands of firearms waiting to be processed.
DC police wouldn't talk to us about Poland's claim, but we do know now where some of those guns ended up. After a gun is found at a crime scene, the ATF traces it all the way back to the original sale with dealers like Poland, and then follows the trail to see who else may have bought the gun before it was used in a crime. Detectives use the traces to develop suspects. The ATF cracks down on dealers who sell a higher number of guns eventually recovered at crime scenes, forcing them to report more information and participate in what the ATF calls its Demand Letter 2 program. The agency put DC police in it after tracking dozens of guns from crime scenes in 2021 alone to MPD gun dealing.
We are not anti-gun dealer at Brady. We are anti-irresponsible gun dealing.
The group Brady United Against Gun Violence recently released hundreds of documents related to the program and found it's really rare to be put in it. But we found 14 dealers in the D.C. area, including Poland's and another who currently operate in D.C., and MPD was on the list too.
It was a little bit surprising to see the D.C. Metropolitan Police Department receive a demand letter.
But not to Poland.
No, does not surprise one bit.
Who says he warned police he didn't think their gun selling practices were tight enough.
I walked in there and it was archaic. The processes, the systems they were using to manage that process was archaic. I had offered advice, had offered little suggestions.
DC police wouldn't tell the I-Team if it took his advice or answer any questions on camera. A spokesperson only telling us, MPD has never sold guns. MPD was required to operate as an FFL to uphold a constitutional right in the district. During that period, the department facilitated the legal transfer of 8,038 firearms.
Gun dealers are gatekeepers. That's their mandate under the federal law. They have that responsibility and that obligation to make sure that every sale is a safe sale.
But there's another concern the I-Team found, what's called time to crime. The ATF explains, on average, a gun found at a crime scene is 10 years past its first sale. Shorter times, the agency tells us, deserve more scrutiny. And in D.C. Police's case, the time to crime was around 20 months, less than 2 years. Scharf says, even though D.C. Police no longer operate as an FFL, the department should want to know why their time to crime was so much shorter, and be able to tell D.C. families if their loved one was shot with a gun they helped bring into the district.
MPD is ultimately responsible for the public safety of the residents of Washington, D.C. Mm-hmm. Everything that they do should have an eye towards protecting the public safety.
Before D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser told D.C. police to get into the gun business, she was criticizing Virginia lawmakers for not overseeing dealers in the Commonwealth strictly enough. We found the letter she sent Virginia legislative leaders in January of 2020, urging them to do more to keep guns legally sold in Virginia from being used in D.C. crimes. Illegal guns originating in Virginia are a key driver of gun crime in D.C., Bowser wrote. 4 months later, she signed that mayor's order authorizing D.C.'s police department to become an FFL themselves, and those ATF records show MPD helped sell guns eventually used in crime too. We reached out to the mayor's office but didn't get a response. A spokesperson for D.C. police did tell us once it stopped being an FFL, the department complied with federal law and sent all their records to the ATF.
So I feel like that was an elaborate way of saying the police are still responsible for guns and drugs in the community. Yeah. I mean, damn.
Yeah. It was, I mean, there's certain things about it I felt like, one, folks gonna get guns because they're so prevalent. I mean, well, no, let me back up. I don't want, if you're going to have police, I don't want them being gun dealers. I just think that's the fucking overt gun dealers, overt, over the counter. Like you said, like I know they deal guns in different ways, but I don't want it to be like I walk into and there's like a glass case and these pigs are selling me guns and all that kind of stuff. That's just a little odd. So, but again, I know they get the guns on the street in other ways, so I'm not suggesting. I'm just talking about the look of it. But two, I'm like, and you know, I get the focus. You focusing in is something that's unique or whatever. But it's like, you got, what is the stat? You have more guns in this country than people. So that's not act like people are not all that. People are driving down, buying guns and bringing them back with them. They're not mailing them to places. I mean, they may be doing some of that, but people are doing a whole bunch of things to get guns on them or whatever like that. Whether they want them for purposes that may be somewhat nefarious, whether they want them for, you know, personal protection, whatever it is. It's like, there's so many guns. So I don't, you know, there's something about it that's just like strikingly off in terms of the idea like people are not going to have those guns in another way if they want them. But, you know, DC is right. Like, I mean, the story did point out itself. Obviously, DC is, some people say, in the South, and or, you know, the Mason-Dixon line around there. So yeah. I mean, it was an interesting story, and particularly because they kept calling the DC police dealers, which I liked.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, so now we want to call them arms dealers. Basically, it's like, I kind of like that. But there's so many guns. It's you know, that's like the bigger issue. And again, I know there's controversy over this because people think we as militants are going to grab the guns, and we grab the guns, we're going to overthrow the state with the guns that we grab, the handguns that we grab, right? Even as they drop in 2,000-pound bombs on us, but it's another discussion. But there's so many guns in the street that you're not going to be able to stop it through the means and mechanisms, or prevent gun violence through the means and mechanisms proposed, because no one's proposing the real thing, which is to stop selling them to the public, period.
That's a good point. By the way, to your quick point about some of the revolutionary fantasies, we as a thought exercise did this in one of my classes the other day, and one of the issues that comes up when I do my thought experiments is as even a self-critique of that fantasy is supply chain. So just who's buying enough? So for instance, you may have a gun or guns, but at a certain point, if we're talking about sustained warfare and conflict, you need to replenish. You need to be able to get more guns and more ammo. And how many people have not only a gun, but enough ammunition for that gun to last years of conflict, months of conflict? And then to your point also, if, you know, I might have a little something in the closet, but what difference does it make if a 2,000-pound bomb is being dropped on my house. It's like, I mean, what are we really talking about here? So, all right, so that's one thing. I am fascinated that, and I think my favorite part of that story is the short time from sale to crime, that the police guns seem to show up at the crime scene fastest. I'm like, I mean,
makes sense.
If you're both the criminal and the investigator, it might get there a little, and the supplier. Damn. So yeah, I mean, but to your point, there's just so many guns everywhere, and a lot of the arguments about how we get them, who should have them, are all silly. I also note, by the way, for those not familiar with the city, that it's of course after 20, I forgot the exact, he said 2021, where this guy opened up his business, that this is also the least black the city has been, probably, certainly in my lifetime, and maybe in modern history. So it's like, as the black population is being expunged and more affluent whites move back into the city, all of a sudden now we get, the gun laws change, and all this stuff starts opening up, and all this other kind of stuff. So
yeah. And again, just be clear, for I'm not opposed to individual ownership of guns, and I'm not opposed to us even as like forming militias and the rest of it. I believe in all that stuff, but I also believe in a little sanity in the approach of like, the way towards the revolution is not going to be that you're going to outgun America. You just like, this is not the current plan. Maybe when we were reaching a point where, like, things are falling apart, and everybody's protecting their little enclaves, that may mean something, but you're not battling the Western Empire because you got more. In our scenario, that you got more. I mean, if that's carefully crafted, those individual guns they put out on the street, they're not worried about that. That's not like the huge worry. And when they want to round you up because they think you turn in those guns on the wrong people, that's been the history, right? So again, we need to be able to be self-defending, but we also need to be lucid in strategies and tactics around what it really means to battle the state that has overwhelming firearm power against not only us, but everybody around the world. So,
plus, as I watch what the Palestinians are doing in Gaza, and when I went back, when we all went back recently and reread Blood in My Eye, if my recollection now is George Jackson was not advocating for the kind of gunplay that some of us might think. He was advocating more of what we see happening in Palestine. So the question of supply chain gets addressed not through bullets and handguns and even machine guns and rifles per se, but the supply chain issue gets addressed through a repurposing of the enemy's munitions, and what we've also seen in terms of IED use in other parts of the world. So again, not advocating it, but just responding to this sort of gunplay fantasy that is sometimes extended from the initial belief in the right to self-defend and have some sort of armament. And to me, that's the most fascinating. And when Electronic Intifada, I keep shouting them out, when they do their particularly their breakdowns of what the resistance is doing over there, not that it's obviously something that could be paralleled anywhere else per se, but it is, or duplicated exactly the same way, but it's at least inspiring, and given what they're up against. And it's not handguns but
supply chain. When you think of supply chains, so supply chains don't come from the enemy. The supply chains come from allies, right? From other people who help bring in the talent, so that it doesn't get cut off, or it's not things that, like you said, that aren't usable in the ways in which they're intended to battle the enemy. So people have to look at that stuff too. So again, it's about time, space, control, of land, and that's not like, it's not going to be a standing army versus standing army, of course. So I think
being organized, maybe more than anything, because none of this works if people are not organized and with some level of political clarity. So yeah, for sure. Speaking of being organized and clear about time and structure, the ear doctor is back.
But you didn't say political clarity. You didn't say
but they ain't organized. Clarity. Who said that line?
That's Dave.
All day.
That stakes is high.
Yeah. I knew you would know that. That's come out. No, never mind.
The other one. The other
light skin one.
Yeah. When that came out, that was literally my favorite hip hop track of all time. It maybe still is for a long time. I really, in terms of the I want to say Freddie Hubbard, but I can't remember. No, it's Ahmad Jamal, I think is who they sampled for that.
Yeah, I believe so.
And then the content, I thought the timing of it, I think it came out in 96, right? In that 96, somewhere around there, where it was, and to me, it was response to Puffy. Sick of ladies shaking ass, sick of blunt, sick of Versace wear, sick of fake ass rappers with their sick. I mean, all of that. I was like, yes, bar after bar, get them.
They was like no Diddy early.
Yeah, they were exactly. So yeah,
they came back and apologized or not?
Not that I'm aware of.
Hey,
and rest in peace to Dave.
I got a slingshot. I'm ready for the revolution.
Oh wow.
Let's go. You know,
and I'm sorry, I know you that, but in some places, again, the propaganda value of that is high. I mean,
and isn't that one of the classic hip hop documentaries related to Palestine, Slingshot Rebellion, or something like that? Something like that. Don't I have it? Yeah,
that's right. I'm taking down giants like David. Anyway, we're not gonna get into mysticism this morning. All right. So let's go ahead and.
I thought some people think that's real. They don't think it's mystical.
I mean, it's a lot of
stories. Okay, my bad. Go ahead, man.
It could possibly have been Jack and a Jill that went up a hill.
I'm sure there is a Jack and a Jill that went up a hill at some point.
Fetch the pail of water. Jack came down, busting his crown, and Jill came tumbling after. I think that's how it went.
Something like that.
Yeah, something like that. All right, let me go ahead and take a quick break. Damn, I pushed the wrong button. Right here on the Remix Morning. See how many buttons I got to push at once. Remix Morning Show. Now we talking about. I forgot to push the button. We talking about great battles. One of the battles that went along into this music thing is this one right here. Check this out.
Milky, and I'm back. My ace in the hole with this brand new track. I'ma slow it up and speed it up, and now you're gonna eat it up. Listen to the funky beat, my tongue is gonna beat it up. I did it, but the devil didn't make me. I did it for the suckers who tried to
shake it, bake me.
Proving a point that I'm the serious choice. You should roll me up and pump me, and then I'll annoy your head with oil. Lots of oil, makes you run like water. Watch the boil, cause I made him play it.
Made him say it, made him okay it, made him obey it. That's right. We talking about a battle that went on between LL Cool J and Kool Moe Dee for like 3 years. 3 years, y'all, battling. That's what they did.
Downtown. Downtown. 129th Street, Convent. Everything's upbeat parties. Ball in the park, nothing. Girls at the dark, we chill. Nobody gets ill in the place. We call the hill, but if you try them, that's when they will get wild. But they don't fight, they kill.
That's right, that battle went on for a while. LL Cool J came out and a bunch of rappers was like, yo, you biting my style. Talk about MC Shan, talking about Kool Moe Dee. And it was like, yo, we coming after that man LL. And then LL came back later on and finished Kool Moe Dee as he did so many other rappers. But those was battles also. So let's get back to it as we battle the world right here on the Remix Morning Show. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Musa said they went to school with MC Shan's daughter. Wow.
Yeah. I probably went to school with MC Shan. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I seen MC Shan DJing at the strip club down here off of Fulton Industrial.
Hmm. Did you hear that request here, Doctor? Could you please sell your mixer? Do you do that?
I'm about to. How about that? Nikki H, thank you. I got you.
I feel like that's some good like Patreon specials. You could sell them through the air. You know what I'm saying?
I do. I will go back and play your Patreon, the stuff you got on Patreon or Sundays, like in the background. Like when I'm doing stuff or whatever. Like, nah, you're a dope DJ.
Shit is hot. The shit is hot.
That, and you can also come to Sundays where, every Sunday at 8 p.m. Let's Fix Your Face come out. I know you got stuff to do. But yes, come Sundays. You can also check out a blend or two there.
I could have been.
Why you at the strip club though, here, Doctor?
You know what? I'm not a fan of strip clubs. It's too much money being spent for nothing. $20.
Well, some would argue it depends what room you're in.
$20 to get in. $20 for a lap dance. Have we bought a drink yet? No. $20 for 2 drinks, and that's not without a tip. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it's yeah.
I mean, it's $100 as soon as you walk up in there and you walk away with. Anyway.
I don't think I've been since. I think literally the last one was when I was in undergrad and I walked in and saw my classmate on stage. And I would have thought that I would have reacted differently, but in the moment it ruined it for me. And at one point we made eye contact during her routine, and she had her professional face on, so it was just there was no expression. Mm-hmm. And I was just like, "This is." I was like,
"Did you leave?"
Not long after, yeah. First, I left immediately. I left her station or whatever. Mm-hmm. I wasn't just gonna. And then I think not that long after, I was like, I think I had to convince somebody else or a couple other people that I was like, I got to get out of here, or we should leave.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've never been.
You ever had a lap dance?
Of course, yeah.
Okay. Damn. Excuse me. I got tricked.
Well, I mean, I'm sorry.
My first lap dance, I got tricked. She just started dancing in front of me, and then I was like, "Oh, cool. This is cool." Next day, she turned around. and was like, "You want another dance?" I was like, "What
another?
What do you mean?" I thought she was just being friendly.
You did?
Oh, you thought she thought you were cute?
Yeah,
at the strip club. Yeah,
that is hilarious. There is a moment where they are good. There is a moment where you actually think you're like
that it's you.
Think you're the man. She is like, "Well, it's gonna be another $20." I was like, "Another what? No, I'm good. Please."
It should last for only like 5 seconds. You're like, "Did I make? Is there a connection here?"
Yeah. She likes me. Really?
She does. She likes me.
No, that's how they. Yeah,
I'm the only one she showed her titties to today. Yeah,
she's like, got him.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I felt that way at the Turkish brothel I went to in the Navy.
Turkish brothel.
Yeah, and there was one of the women there. I felt she went in the back and put on, and I remember she said, "Wait," she went like this. And then she went in the back room and put on Eric B. and Rakim, Follow the Leader. And I thought she was like really setting, like she, little candle and all of that. I thought we was like bonding. I was like, this is about to be my girlfriend. I was about to move in. And then, you see shortly, you realize, okay, this is business. You're reminded that this is business and somebody else is waiting.
Exactly.
So it's like, but then I found out, because what it is, it's called the Compound is where we went. And we were told, to the point we were talking about earlier, Kamau, it's like the older sailors say, when you get there, as soon as you get in port, say you want the Compound, go to the taxi man. And they know exactly where to take you. And it's like a gated row house community. And you get to the gate, they take, at the time we didn't have, this is 90s, they take your wallet and I suppose now they would take your phone or whatever, that you can't like have anything. Maybe just obviously some cash. And then it's like a little community. You can get little snacks and tea, and then you walk around and beer, of course, and you walk around and it's like open, women are in the windows and you just go in and pick. And but then what we learned was that most of those women, or what I ended up being told, is that most of those women are there working off sentences of their family who are locked up, and they're trying to pay off. And it was like, it was one of my early like, oh man, right? Oh wait,
you feel like you.
Because initially you want to convince yourself, wait, no, they're happy to be doing this. This is like the epitome of their life choice and career, and they can't, it's like they can't wait to
have some stranger upon them,
and you're the one, like you in particular, like they're waiting for you, and then so by the second tour, the second cruise that I got sent on, when we went back to Turkey, I didn't go back. It was ruined for me, but I did go. And I did in that one moment. I thought we had connected. She put on Eric B. and Rakim. I was like, follow the leader.
Why in my head do I just feel like Turkish women have hairy legs?
I think that's a stereotype about Middle Eastern or
maybe.
There was nothing particularly. I mean, they were as fine or not as anyone else.
I mean, you could be fine with hairy legs.
Well, I mean, they didn't look any different, is what I'm saying, than anyone else. So whatever you would, really what I was saying was, whatever you find as your norm here is what you would have seen, is what my real point was.
Man, when I got the DR, the driver took us straight to the brothel. He was like, listen, this is how we do in the DR. As soon as you come, I was like, God damn, we didn't even go get a drink or freshen up. He's taking us straight to the brothel. Like, God.
Well, when I went to Amsterdam, and again, the naivete of a Kamal, I didn't even realize it was a red light district. I didn't kind of know. I thought I knew about the drugs. That's what I was going for. And then the folks is like, if you walk around here, and then we start walking, and then you see women on swings and like in the windows, standing there, and it's as opposed to it being some sort of turn on, it feels like if it just feels, hopefully what it should feel like, it's like yucky. It's like, yo, what the fuck is happening here? Like, you know what I mean? Like and obviously you don't know anything about anybody's situation, but as Jared was saying, I doubt that people got there being like, ooh, dream job. I get to stand.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Like, ooh, I finally made what I wanted to do. And somebody told me some background stuff around, a lot of them are folks are immigrants. Either they're like Eastern European immigrants or even or African immigrants. And like you said, like,
if you think you're going to get a little Dutch cutie, no.
Yeah.
That's not who's in those windows.
No, the ones that's in the windows is, like I said, culture 88. My husband is Turk. Turk people typically do have hairy legs. They shave, wax, etc.
And apparently that's where they know their hair, right? Because that's where all the men are going to get their hair transplants now. Apparently,
Turkey?
Yeah, it's a big. It's been.
You've been thinking about it?
No, I refuse. I embrace what's happening to me. So I'm like, lose the melanin, lose my hair. I embrace it. I'm here for the jokes and the comedy. You know what I mean? But and then I am arrogant enough that I think I still look good. So I'm like, it is facts. It is facts. I'm like, I'm aging like wine at this point. So I'm like, but I would say, I'm not going to say too much, but there are, in my extended circles, that is an issue, and someone is going. And there are apparently, I thought it was a joke, but that's the hot thing. You can go over there, and the cost of the travel and everything is so much, still far beneath what you would have to pay to get it done here, that
what happened to a good old toupee?
Oh, that's even worse. Oh no, that's even worse.
That's why the hair transplants, science, the importance of science dug deep into the problem of male pattern baldness. So, like, look.
Maybe if I had been in my early 20s and lost my hair, or maybe something crazy like that, maybe. But especially now, I'm like, man.
My man did. My man, like he had a low top, and the moment he did his high top fade, this is in college. He did his high top fade. Within 6 months, you could see, and then you gotta you don't want to say anything because obviously he knows it's happening. You know what's happening. So you don't say anything, but you kind of like, my man is really losing his hair fast, like, in his 20s, whatever. And luckily when he shaved off, he had a good look. So it never stopped him or whatever. So yeah.
And plus my wife is already tricked and committed now, so it's too late for her. So like, you know what I mean? I don't need to, I'm not on the market anymore. I don't need to. Ear doctor, you thinking about it? Would you go?
Hell no. I'd shave I got hair. I just shaved my head.
Oh, for real? You're not bald? You bald by choice?
Yeah.
Completely?
Oh,
no.
Yeah.
Oh, we not cool.
No,
we're definitely not cool anymore.
Cool.
You been out here fronting? I thought we were people in a bald head for real. You got hair?
No.
God damn it.
You gotta
start right here.
It's receding.
The hairline, the hairline start right here, and it's. Come on, I don't want to have a 5 head.
You fake ass bald. You like, how dare you?
I don't want to have a 5 head, man.
Listen,
Listen,
just playing.
So your hair just really stopped growing?
Mine? Oh yeah, like wow. You can even see like. But I had the same thing. I was in grad school and I had grown my hair out and I had it braided and everything, and it was in. Oh damn! Oh wow!
That's something right there. I never seen that one.
Damn!
I know what caused.
I never saw that one
hair
either.
Is celebrating.
But I had my hair braided, and then I took the braids out one night, and my hair it fell. Oh! I've never seen that before. Like what had been a fro, or at least hair extended, it just dropped. And I was immediate with it. I cut it that night and showed up bald to class the next day. In fact, Dr. James Turner, the late great Dr. James Turner, asked me. He said, "Are you all right?" He's like, "Is something going on with you?" And I was like, "No, sir." I said, I just told him what happened, and I was like, so for a while there, I looked crazy because they had only known me to have all this hair, and it was immediate. I was like, nah, I'm not playing. I'm not doing all the the old man with the locks. Like maybe if I was a real roster or something, it meant something spiritual maybe, but like you see like they got the and it was even a joke on the great now canceled South Side. They had a brother who was trying to hold on. His locks started back here. They were like, my man, you got to let it go.
See, I would look like Sherman Hemsley if I let my hair grow out. So I definitely don't.
That's pretty far back at this time. I mean, depending on what year, you know what I mean? Like he kept it like early George. Yeah. Early George he still had on top. Late George, it was all going. Yeah.
You got that little halo with the little.
Yeah, exactly. Got the halo looking. Yeah.
Nah, you gotta let it. You gotta just brace. You just gotta, and.
Oh my goodness! The beauties of getting older. I love it. All right.
It's a mess. It's a mess. It's not for the faint of heart. As they say.
I like it though. If I had a messed up head, I wouldn't shave my head. But I got a decent, shaped head. So.
But that's why I hold on to what I got, because like I'm gonna look like a cancer patient. No offense to the cancer patient. No offense to the cancer patient.
Just don't shave all the hair off your face, man. Then you really, we can't hang.
Now I'm gonna write that number down to Turkey and be like, yo, if any more goes. But I'm, like y'all said, like, what is this? 2024? I'm gonna be 57 this year.
Oh wow, nice.
Yeah.
It's been a good run. Like, between 57 and 65, it's like, what am I doing? But there is that little bit of an ego that you're like, maybe I'll let somebody stick some pins, and you know what I mean? Because ain't that what they basically stick pins in your head?
I honestly don't know. I don't know what they do.
Yeah, no, I've done the research. They cut back here apparently these days, and they take basically a line of here where this is predetermined to continue growing, so it's going to grow back, and then they take those hair follicles and they stick them all over here wherever you want them. I think I heard back in the day they used to use ass hair on your head or leg hair, ass hair or leg hair from your body. But as the science has improved, they just take from the back of your head and put it on
hair on your head. That would be
so those old dudes from like the 1950s and 60s, the original hair plan transplants, they got basically ass hair. They got
pubic hairs on their head. Unbelievable.
Nah,
Big up to Latif. Yeah. Latif, aka anybody?
Mas.
Okay. $10.
Colossus.
See, if I still got like I got like 75 to 80% of it.
Oh, okay. Wait, you're bald by choice? Wait, your hair stopped growing. Kamal not in this one. I guess he's not. All right, ZZ Lion Dad, $10.
You go to the shoe show.
You go to strip clubs. I go to shoe shows. Nah, that's the only place you can go and smoke cigars late night. I can't smoke left-handed cigarettes. Cigar shops close early about 2.
You don't act like you've never been to the strip club.
Left-handed cigarettes. That's
a lot of information.
Code for something? I don't know.
It's gotta be. I know you've been to the strip club.
I don't know. That's a lot of information there. I started getting bored reading it, but
oh damn, doctor. The strays you are offering today are crazy. Give people a break, and my man sent a few dollars on top of it.
I appreciate it. I mean, just work on your paragraphs there.
Oh, cigar weed. Oh yeah, no. I don't. No. Just weed.
Yo, you know there's really a need for me out here. At the Black Man's Lab, well, for many reasons. But at the Black Man's Lab, you know, when people talk too long, I hit them with the and then everybody claps, and then they know to wrap it up. Like the conferences I went to this weekend, people need me to do this. They do not know how to stop talking. Just long-winded.
Yeah, but then you get too happy, and when you get too happy, you overproduce. You in a cut with the God voice, overproducing.
Sometimes people don't know how to wrap it up, and they just keep talking because they're thinking about how to wrap it up. So they just keep and thinking, how do I wrap this up? How do I land this plane? And I help them.
One of my things. Have you ever like I don't know, like either MC something or facilitate a rally or a speaking event, and you got to have different ways in which you creep up on somebody to let them know. It's like, look, sometimes I like when they like, the new school thing, of course, is for people to sit in the front row if it's an auditorium setting, and they put up the things in front of you 5 minutes, 2 minutes, or whatever. That's the polite way. The old school way, of course, is that you start going towards the speaker. Like at a sideways angle, try to make sure that they catch the eye. Like, I'm coming to get that mic. I'm coming to get that mic from you. I'm coming for that mic. And then you got to do a little pat on the back. And you're like, it's time.
Yeah, wrap that shit up, B. Yeah. And then you hit them with the all right.
Right.
You got hit it with the all right. All
right. Our next speaker.
Yeah. So many
Flip
ways.
side of that is I've been guilty of that. So I've been the guy that hears that. And usually, yeah.
I've been on both ends. I've been on both.
And you hear somebody saying, all right, yeah.
Or the clapping motion, the clapping. Like you start clapping, and you're hoping the crowd claps too, and that gives you the easy way. Like,
and you look around the crowd like, y'all ready to clap?
I've done that too. I've actually walked off early. If I've caught a moment, I'm like, I'm not gonna fuck this up. I'm out.
Yep.
I'm just like, and then you're up there for like 2 seconds. Say one thing. If the crowd responds, I'm like, oh.
So imagine the production that has to be done with somebody that has a show that talks for 2 hours straight, Jared. For somebody like Kamal who gets on talk shows and talks for hours straight, and then Jackie who talks for hours straight, and putting y'all all together to share, pass the blunt around. I mean, it's not an easy task.
I don't talk for hours straight. I'm concise. I'm a concise speaker, very concise.
Woo!
And I can't do what Jared does. I cannot do like when Jared does his individual shows. I think it's a talent. like with, you know, you're not the only one, of course, but when like, you know, you speak, you're just having a conversation with the audience.
Yes.
I can't that I feel very self-conscious about. So
that's wild, because this is the exact the shit you're doing. I can't do that shit.
The interviewer having
the speech stuff. No, well, that
speech,
too.
yeah,
the interviews. Well, the interviews in those short, concise, where they say you got 3 to 5 or even 15 minutes. I'm not good. And the stand up, pick up a mic and a megaphone, and
that dude.
And even speaking in Cleveland before Eugene, I'm not like that kind of. I'm not good. Like I'm like that was rough. And then he gets up there, no notes and shit, and just is just
he's like
killing
Biggie
it.
Smalls, no paper.
Yeah, it's a little bit. It's a little bit intimidating. And dude is sitting in the front row, and you over there and you talking to his crowd, his PSL crowd. They over there like waiting for you, like, wrap it up, B. You talk about wrap it up. We see Eugene. You know what I'm saying? We see Eugene over there, my man. It was like, look at that. It was like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? So I was quick. I was tight with the clock.
Index cards and shit. Like, oh my god.
Yeah, I had my little, but I was tight with the clock. I was like, yeah, I even cut it a little short. I was like, nah, man. I see that they was looking over there. Where's Eugene at? The first person to look that way, I was like,
see the index cards and the right, like kids today. I shouldn't go kids. People today use their phone, and they'll do their speeches and and I hate that. First of all, half the time they're stopping because the phone goes dark and they got to find the speech again.
Like, what's my passcode again?
Yeah, or they standing there reading from such a close, and it's like, so those things always bothered me more. So once I got comfortable, sort of like freestyling or like, you know, your theme, at best I may jot notes, but you're like, I actually prefer like not to have a lot of notes or things to refer back to. I get more self-conscious when I'm reading a prepared text, because then I'm like looking down, up, are people getting this? Am I reading it correctly? Did I do the right, you know, intonations? Other than like, if you can feel, you know, what you're about to say, and it's coming to you, and are people reacting to it? Are they getting it? Are they picking it up? Is it leading to someplace, whatever? For some reason, that feels more comfortable at the stage, let's say, than maybe, you know, when you're a new speaker and you want everything written down because your knees are knocking. So you don't want nobody to, like, you know, interrupt you or whatever like that.
Y'all are
I remember the first time I spoke,
y'all are true MCs, like on the real. Like, even we talking about this whole freestyling, like Biggie, you don't need no lyrics in front of him. When y'all get up there, bam. I seen both of y'all do it. I mean, when you in your zone and you in your zone, y'all in it. Y'all remember all the notes, where I'm supposed to go, how I get to this next transition. And that's the same thing with me. When I just get down here and freestyle on the turntables, I just go.
When you're in it, yeah. When you're not in it, it could be, you know, it's one of those, you're like, I'm not feeling it today. I don't feel the energy, but you do it. You know what I mean? But you can always, sometimes you can feel yourself when you're like, you feel like you're doing emotions, and you're hoping to still, obviously you're hoping to connect, but for whatever various reasons, even your heart's not into like that moment in time. But I was gonna say real quickly too, I remember one of my first times I ever spoke publicly. This is actually back in the day of working with Sandra, like as a student organizer. And my knees, you know, when you think other people can see you shaking and you don't know if they can, or your voice is quivering and you don't know what people can pick up or not. Ooh, I almost felt like I was going to faint. Like it was like that kind of a scary experience or whatever. So,
man, there've been times where I've like handed the mic to the next person and it's been just dripping wet with my hand sweat, like to the point where I thought it was going to cause an electrical shock. I was like, let me out of here. Just let me out of here, man. Like, why, you know, because people sometimes they'll see you in certain space or see me somewhere and they think, oh, he can do this. He'll be good up there. And it's like, no. And then you go because they ask and they're like, you know, come on, man, we need, you know, it would be helpful, you know, and I feel, and then I get up there and I'm up there like, and I can't, you know, like, man, let me just get out of here. fight the power. Just get out of here. You know what I'm saying? I'm out.
Some random ass.
Say some random shit. The first, we're at this specific event. Whatever. So yeah, but it is all of it. The point is everybody has a skill that they can find a way to contribute to the struggle.
So Anthony D reminds us all, let's remember that Marcus Garvey and his first U.S. address fell off the stage.
Yeah.
So it takes practice to set up in front of people, no doubt. And you guys do a great job. Thank you for that.
I have literally used that to calm myself.
Yeah.
Because I remember and Hubert Henry Harrison had to sort of encourage him back up. And it is like, well, if he could fall off the stage and then build the biggest organization ever, I might make it through this. I might make it.
Look at these facts right here from S. Burroughs. Kamau was a mentor in public speaking for lots of us in New York 90s radical justice scene.
Yeah, really? Right on.
Okay. I remember being that good in the 90s, but yeah. I appreciate it.
Somebody thought you was.
We as the audience didn't know any better. So it was all good.
Man, and I remember times being when I got in front of a crowd and they didn't react how I wanted to a DJ, and I was like, I'm not doing this.
I feel like that's the worst thing for a DJ. Yeah. And I always complain, I think I've joked with you about this. It's like, how do DJs feel when, like, when you switch up, like sometimes, like everybody's on the floor. And then they'll switch to something, and then people just start leaving the floor en masse.
Yeah,
even good DJs, I've just seen this happen. And I'm like, in my mind, I'm going like, for the DJ, is that like, usually, like, do you feel like you failed at that moment, or is that okay because you feel like I'm resetting the scene anyway, and I need to whatever?
Well, I'm the pull-out king, so as soon as something ain't working right, I'm able to pull out of that. I'm able to get up out of that song and then drop another one. But usually, when that happens, it's somebody asking for a request. And they'll come and it'll be like, could you play this song? And I know it's not going to work, but it'll be the client that paid for it. So I'll get on the mic and say, we got a special request, and point at them. From what's the name? I'm about to play it right now. Boom. I'm not going under. They're not going to have me looking bad. I point them out, like, we got a special request from so-and-so over here. Here we go. And then I
put
just
the
walk
echo
away
on
from
it.
the
This
church.
is not an ear doctor special.
Exactly.
It's your man, Tyrone.
Yes.
From the third row.
Booty song.
People are so selfish with their requests. They don't care what song is playing. They want to hear the song they want to hear, and no matter what type of groove is going on. And if they paying for it, guess what I do? I drop it and put their name in front of it. So.
Come out. Yeah, hey, everybody, come back at 11 o'clock. Otis Cunningham and Lisa Brock are coming back to talk with us about Cuba and Black Revolution. So if you got time, come on back in about an hour or so. Okay. And speaking of time, I think you got some for a mix.
A little something. Make sure y'all tune back in tomorrow mornings. We have Women's Wednesday right here on the Remix Morning Show, and all the other shows. Make sure you check them out. We doing it right here, Black Power Media on the Remix Morning Show. So let's get it.
Thanks, everybody.
Now it's love versus hate. Time for my people to eliminate that hate. Less love. Because it's our people that we thinking of. Now they say we play your hating cause we hate the black on black. And the fact we can't stand when we act like that. Self-hate killing us more than a popo or crack. I tell my peoples with the gaps it ain't about all that. We arrived on slave ships, torture, chained and whipped. 400 years of being slaves in the land of the brave. Have we forgotten? Our ancestors forced to pick cotton. Women raped and tortured, murdered if they caught ya. Niggas swung from trees like a breeze do summer leaves. Swaying back and forth, failed attempts to make it north. Millions of people died just so that we can survive. So this knowledge I provide, cause these facts can't be denied. Nowadays it's new ways. 60s it was the smack, 80s it was the crack, 90s it be the gap. Time to recognize how uncivilized we got. Get wise and unify and not fall victim to the plot. Love versus hate. It's time for my people to eliminate that hate. Less love. Cause it's our people that we thinking of it.
Zungo, zungo, go, zungo, zen.
And we out of here, y'all. Remix Morning Show. We'll be back tomorrow morning.
Push on pin.
Push on pin. Hey!